So there are a bunch of rumors floating around Twitter that a Devil May Cry 6 is gonna get announced at the State of Play on the 12th of this month. Sweet, ain't it? But sadly, I am here to burst that bubble. Because sure, they did release the report that they are gonna work on Devil May Cry and Ace Attorney and their other games that are not Resident Evil or Monster Hunter, but there's one big picture that we need to look at. Resident Evil Requiem was announced last year at the Summer Game Fest. Oh, and the new Mega Man game was also announced at the Game Awards. And I'm not gonna forget about the fact that Onimusha was also announced during the Game Awards itself, man. You wanna know what these titles have in common? They are franchises that come to mind whenever you hear the name Capcom. I know, a lot of folks are gonna say, well, Devil May Cry is pretty niche, ain't it? Not anymore, it's on the rise, and here's the thing. Onimusha is way nicher than Devil May Cry, but it got an announcement at the Game Awards. Meaning, Capcom themselves don't even announce these games at their own showcase. A lot of these Capcom showcases are they're showcasing games that are already slated to come out the next year, showing off new features that the game would have. That's what all the Capcom showcases are, dude. With that little bit of information out of the way, what makes you think that Capcom is gonna announce it at a State of Play? And yes, Devil May Cry is one of Capcom's flagship franchises that is currently on the rise. Devil May Cry 5 has sold 11 million units so far. On a large pop culture scale, it is getting way bigger right now. So in that regard, what makes you think that Capcom is gonna announce a potentially internet-breaking game at the State of Play? If anything, it makes way more sense for it to get announced at the Summer Game Fest, the upcoming one, or the Game Awards, either any of these two, which already makes the fact that it's gonna get announced at the State of Play a flat one at that. Not to mention that 777 didn't provide much credible sources. You wanna know what backed up the statement that it's gonna be announced at State of Play? Trust me, bro, that's it. Plus, the game's gonna have Arabic in it. No apparent screenshots of Dante, Virgil, and Nero what they're gonna look like in Devil May Cry 6. No apparent leaked file or anything from Capcom. No vague Itsuno-style statements from Kamiya or Junya Kumabe. By the way, me predicting that he's gonna be the director for future Devil May Cry projects was just me looking at his tweets and retweets, so I just came to an assumption, that's it. I could be true or false on that one. Only time will tell. For these leaks, however, all what we got is a few tweets saying DMC 6 is back in Arabic text, followed up by saying that it's gonna have Arabic in it, Arabic menus, and potentially Arabic voice acting. That's what I gather anyways. Oh, and it's gonna be announced at State of Play. That's all about it, and these quote-unquote leaks are written in Arabic. So all what major outlets are doing at the minute is just farming this news for clicks. Yeah, they're feeding way too much on your hopium right there. And I did head over into the subreddit, which I have linked in the description, and apparently he did not get a single leak right. So yeah, there's that credibility down the toilet, dude. So yeah, this is my message to 777 in Arabic. I'm gonna have subtitles so that everyone could be following along. بص يا عم 777، انا زيك هنموت على ديفل ماي كراي 6. يعني احنا عايزينها تجت اناونست في اي بتاع، يعني مش فارقه معانا هي هتجت اناونست يا عند سوني او جيم اووردز او جيم فيست. المهم الاناونسمنت بس. لو هتعمل اي ليكس او اي حاجه لازم يا اخويا يبقى معاك مصادر. واقول لك على حاجه يا سيدي، حتى لو معكش مصادر يعني لازم يبقى فيه تنبؤ منطقي، واخد بالك انت؟ يعني من ضعف الايمان تبقى واخد بالك هم بيعملوا اناونسمنت لاي تايتل كبيره في اني ايفنتات بالظبط. يعني مش اي جيمنج ايفنت جاي ويلا هيعمل اناونسمنت لديفل ماي كراي 6 هنا وفي اي بتنجان. هم بيبقوا في 2 بس، هي الجيم اووردز او السمر جيم فيست، والباقي اما اللعبه اتعمل لها اناونسمنت بيقول لك الفيتشرز والحاجات التانية اللي فيها، لا اكتر لا غير. نفس الموضوع حصل مع Resident Evil Requiem السنة اللي فاتت في الجيم فيست، حتى اخر ميجا مان كانت في الجيم اووردز، واونيموشا برضه جيم اووردز. يبقى معاك مصادر، ودي اصعب حاجة عشان مفيش حد عارف يجيب ملفات من شركة كبيرة زي كابكوم اصلا او اي شركة العاب تانية، او تركز وتشوف كابكوم بيعلنوا الحاجات دي فين مش اكتر، مش تقول اي حاجة تسخن الناس وخلاص، ما بتمشيش كده. But having said all of that, I am not denying the Capcom report that they released last year, and the Mega Man announcement at the Game Awards made it more credible actually. I'm not gonna be surprised if we see a Devil May Cry 6 getting announced this year, either at any of those two. I mean, hey, the 25th anniversary is this August really, and I'm gonna be honest, if this is what they're giving us during the 25th, this is a slap in the face. Nothing against the fans of that show. We might be getting a Devil May Cry announcement this year or the following year. It all depends really. My money is it being a Devil May Cry 1 remake since Kamiya's on board. But hey, if it's actually gonna be a Devil May Cry 6, I really hope to God that it's a Dante and Virgil game in hell, a direct sequel to Devil May Cry 5. Dude, if it's a loose adaptation of the Divine Comedy following the events of DMC5, that premise in and of itself has many concepts for a video game. Story-wise, level design-wise, combat-wise, just everything-wise. It needs an entire video on its own to explain some of the ideas that I would have if I were in charge of Devil May Cry 5. Now, sorry, if I were in charge of Devil May Cry 6, my bad. But that's a whole other video of its own, man. So, moral of the story. If any random video game leaks pop off, and it has something to do with your favorite franchise,
do your homework first.
You got the internet with various search engines, man. All what it takes is just one Google search to debunk anything that sounds too good to be true, dude. With that out of the way, we come to the end of this video. Do you guys think we will actually see Devil May Cry 6 at the State of Play or not? Let me know in the comments down below. If you liked this video, hit that like button and smash that subscribe button real impact style. I'm still working on that real life Dante cosplay video, and I'd like to appreciate everyone for getting me to 11,000 subscribers. Damn, I love you guys a lot. If you want something with better editing from me, I put out this video analyzing Dante's path from self-hatred to self-acceptance. It was out not too long ago. Check it out if you're interested. Hit them notifications to get notified on whenever I put out another Devil May Cry or other action game video. This has been me, the Devil Joe, signing out. Catch y'all later.